Okay, good afternoon, all. How are you today? I see that you are still joining. So, we're going to start our pre last topic, that is topic 25. And today we will talk about wishes and regrets. So, we will revise some grammar with you. And at the end of our webinar, we will practice some listening tasks with you. That will be a true or false task. So let's start. Hello, I see you are here. So as usual, I would ask you to give me your answers to the chat so that we can collaborate somehow with you. If you have any questions, also put them to the chat. I will try to ask them to answer them during the webinar or at the end of our webinar. So feel free to use the chat. So let's go. So let's look at the first slide as usual, yes, and there are some gaps, and the task is very easy. Try to fill in these gaps with one or two maybe words, but the point here is that it's like the same for all gaps. Okay, so I'm waiting for your answer. So please try to fill in the gaps with one grammar structure with the same grammar structure. Yeah, so let me read number one. So we have a gap, and then I could understand what he's saying. Number two, it would stop raining. And number three, I hadn't spent all that money. Okay. So what can we put in all these gaps? So something that is the same for all three gaps. I see the first correct, let's say, option. That is I wish, but what else? Except for I wish. What else? Waiting for more answers. There is something else. So we can say, I wish I could understand what he's saying. I wish it would stop raining. I wish I hadn't spent all that money. But what else? That's right. Your answers are correct. But maybe any other guesses? If only, that's right. So actually we can put I wish and in of or if only in all these sentences. So we can use them like the same way. Тобто однаково можемо поставити I wish and if only. We use these phrases to talk about things that we would like to be different in either the present or the past. The only thing is that if only is usually a bit stronger than wish, so it gives more emphasis and it's not more formal, but anyway, it's stronger. Тобто він сильніший. Тобто if only виражає ще більше бажання, щоб щось було по-іншому в теперішньому або минулому. But they are the same. You can use them like in the same examples, in the same sentences, and they mean completely the same. I wish we usually use more in colloquial speech, yes? That's right. So we use them to describe some regrets or wishes. So let's look exactly at the grammar that we should use, yes? Because for your exam, you would probably need more some structures, yes? Than just the meaning. So here are the four forms that we can use with wish and if only. And depending on this, like the way you use them, depending on the structure, yes, they have different meanings. Тобто, wish і if only, за ними може йти різний або час, або різні граматичні структури. І в залежності від того вони змінюють своє значення. Про яку саме там ми кажемо regret, про яке саме бажання ми зараз виражаємо. So let's look at them. So if we put wish or if only with past tense, we mean that we say that something is not how we want to be in the present or the future. Тобто, якщо ми ставимо past tense після цих wish, if only, то ми виражаємо, що ми хочемо щось мати інакше в теперішньому або в майбутньому. For example, I wish I knew the truth. I don't know the truth, but I wish I knew. If only the flight didn't leave early. So the flight leaves early, but I wish it didn't. So if we talk about present or future, we need to use past tense. Як би це не звучало, да, але щоб виразити щось в теперішньому, ми використовуємо минулий. And also we can use if only and wish with past tense in order to express dissatisfaction with a future plan. For example, Sandy wishes she were playing in the match on Saturday. But she is not. She is not playing, but she wishes she were playing. Да, і тут я маю до вас питання. Сенді – це дівчинка, да, і далі у нас іде she were playing. Да, чому не was? Як ви думаєте, можемо ми туди поставити was? Sandy wishes she was playing in the match on Saturday. What do you think? Can we put was instead of were there? What do you think? Can we say Sandy wishes she was playing in the match on Saturday? Yes or no? Can we say she was playing in the match on Saturday? Surely we can, yes, but remember that in any conditional sentences, and the same as wish and if only, we can use were. It's more formal, yes, it's more a written way to say something, but anyway, we can do that. So it can be was, it can be were, the same meaning. Also, we can use wish and if only with past perfect tense if we want to express regrets about the past. Yeah? Тобто ми так само можемо говорити про якісь regrets або wishes in the past, в минулому. Для цього нам потрібен вже past perfect tense. For example, Robbie wishes he had admitted his mistake. He didn't admit, but he wishes he had admitted. So, in fact, he didn't, but he wishes he had admitted. So, the underlined structure is past perfect. Or, for example, if only I hadn't been working so much last night. I was working like too much last night, but I wish I hadn't been working. Тобто бачимо, що щоб виразити regrets або wishes in the past, нам потрібен past perfect. Also, what you might see in your exam, it's wish if only plus would and plus bare infinitive. Bare infinitive, пам'ятаємо, це інфінітив без часточки to. We use the structure to complain about the situation or when an action in the present is annoying. Annoying – це така набридлива, те, що вам не подобається, да? Тобто annoying, irritating or even frustrating. Тобто ви хочете щось змінити. For example, we have been waiting for ages. I wish the match would start. So you are annoyed, you are irritated, and you wish the match would start. We also can use would plus be infinitive to talk about a wish for the future. For example, if only they would talk to each other. Тобто ви хочете, щоб в майбутньому вони поговорили між собою, да? That's why you can use would talk. Yes, if only they would talk to each other. Or I wish they would talk to each other. So that's the same. And finally, you can use wish if only with could and again with be infinitive to express dissatisfaction with an ability in the present or future. For example, Tom wishes he could speak Spanish. In fact, he cannot. Yes, тобто він не може говорити іспанською, but he wishes he could speak. Да? Тобто оця ability, спроможність, виражається цим could. Але знову ж таки, ми не можемо казати can, да? Нам потрібно це поставити в минулий could. Да? Or, for example, if only Callie could meet us on Friday night. So basically, she cannot do that, but we wish that, yes? Or she wishes or we wish that she could meet us on Friday night. Okay, so let's go to practice and let this as a difference, yes, in meaning, and let's try to choose the correct option. So the task is very easy. You have the sentence, you have two options. Your task is to choose the correct one. So let's go to number one. I wish I would or I could see my girlfriend during my stay in Rome. What do you think about this example? What should we put here? I wish I would or I wish I could see my girlfriend. Could. Surely could. Yes, we use could, yes, in order to express lack of ability. Тобто неспроможність щось зробити в теперішньому або в майбутньому, да? Але при цьому використовуємо could, не can. Okay, let's go to number 2. She wishes she had or had a holiday now. So should we use past simple had or past perfect had? She wishes she had or had a holiday now. So we're talking about present, yes? If we talk about present, if we wish something in the present, we need to use, that's right, past simple, yes? Had a holiday now. Great. So we use past simple in order to express regrets or wishes about the present, да? Okay, let's go next. If only George hadn't sold or didn't sell all these old CDs last year. So last year, are we talking about present or past? So we regret about past. So if we regret about past, we need to use what? Hadn't sold. That's right, past perfect. Great. Let's go next. I wish it had stopped or it would stop raining tomorrow. Okay? We have tomorrow. We're talking about some future, yes? If we talk about some future, and I guess it's a bit irritating. Would stop, yes? Would stop, that's right. We cannot say had stopped because we have tomorrow. У нас вже є завтра, tomorrow, да? Ось цей тайм-маркер, який нам чітко вказує на майбутню дію. Okay, let's go next. If only I learned or I had learned English when I was younger. Okay, again, we're talking about past, yes, and we regret about something didn't happen in the past. So that's why we need to use past perfect. So to show regret in the past, we use past perfect. Okay, number 6. I wish she wasn't living or she didn't live right now. What do you think about this one? I wish she wasn't living or she didn't live right now. I think it's a kind of like continuous action, yes? She's living now, but I wish, that's right. So she is living, in fact, she is living, but I wish she wasn't living, yes? So we can use even past continuous if we want like to be doing a different action in the present or in the future. Пам'ятаєте, так само in future, да? Коли в нас був про матч приклад, да? She is not playing in the match, but she wishes she was like playing. Great. Number 7. If only I was told or had been told about the meeting yesterday. Насправді в таких реченнях зазвичай у вас буде тайм-маркер. Тобто yesterday, now, tomorrow, тобто слово, яке вам вкаже на час, та, на конкретний час. І з цього ви можете зробити висновок. Якщо в нас є yesterday, we are talking about past. If we regret about past, we need to use what? Had been told. Да, до речі, це в нас пасивна конструкція, да? Had been told. Okay, let's go next. I wish you could or would be quiet. No time marker here. Тільки вам сказала про тайм-маркери, тут його немає. I wish you could or would be quiet. Але з речення зрозуміло, що ми тут виражаємо. Quiet – це тихий. I wish you could or would be quiet. Would be quiet because it irritates us, yes? So we express some irritation and we would like to change something. Okay, number 9. She wishes she was or would be more beautiful. She wishes she was or would be more beautiful. She was, surely, yes? Again, we express some wishes about the present. Now, yes, she wants to be beautiful. Okay, number 10. I wish I was swimming or swam in the sea now. Again, something we would like to be doing, like now in the present, yes, or in the future also. We use past continuous. Number 11. I wish Geraldine could see or had seen the children now. That's right. What about number 11? I wish Geraldine could see or had seen the children now. We have now, so we're talking about some present, yes? So if we talk about present, we never use past perfect like had seen, only could see. And the last one, I wish I was or I would be famous now. Okay, strange sentence, but anyway, I wish I was or I would be famous now. Hmm? I was. That's right. I was famous now. Again, that is our wish about the present, yes? Okay, let's look at these two sentences and put me to the chat which sentence is right and which sentence is wrong. So sentence A, I wish you would stop complaining, it's very tiresome. I wish I would stop complaining, it's very tiresome. What do you think about these two? Maybe they are both correct. What do you think? Maybe we can say this way and this way or not. Maybe some sentence is correct. I wish you would stop complaining, I wish I would stop complaining. Can we use both variants grammatically? Let's talk about grammar. We actually discussed it, but anyway. Ми з вами так дуже це згадали, але дуже поверхне. Okay? I wish you would stop complaining. I wish I would stop complaining. A is correct. What about B? Okay? B is surely wrong. Why? Again, remember that we can use wish plus would or wouldn't to show that we are annoyed with what someone or something does. Like we cannot use the structure to wish about ourselves. So we can never say, I wish I would. Yes, it's not the same meaning. Yes, it's not correct. Yes, only first sentence is correct. You want to change someone or something. Okay, let's go to practice. So let's look at number 1. So as usual, you have the gap and you have 4 options and your task is to choose the correct one. I wish I gap a better job. I don't enjoy this kind of work. And we have had, would have, had, would have had. Насправді все з вами повторимо зараз. Okay. Okay. Any other guesses? Let me give you more time. Хто зробив, можете далі писати. Друге, третє, четверте, п'яте. I wish I had. Да? Просто, у нас як regret такий, about present. Да? Ми жалкуємо, що от зараз у нас така погана робота. Да? So that is about present, like nothing, no exceptions here, нема ніяких тут винятків, просто хотілося б кращої роботи. Okay, number 2. I wish you gap so late. I'm tired of always waiting for you. So do you feel any like kind of irritation here? Maybe like annoyance here. I wish you gap so late. I'm tired of always waiting for you. That's right. So that sentence, like the message of the sentence is that we are like irritated by someone, yes? So I wish you wouldn't always arrive so late. Yes, so we express some irritation. Okay, number 3. I wish you gap your bedroom. It's a mess. And we have tidied up, had tidied up, would tidy up, would have tidied up. Would have tidied up. Again, the same, irritation. Я вам ці приклади показую, щоб було зрозуміло, коли немає, знаєте, ніяких тайм-маркерів, нічого, коли було тільки по значенню. Да? Інколи буває, що вам потрібно вибрати правильний варіант по значенню. Да? Зазвичай є якісь підказки граматично, але буває, що потрібно по значенню вибрати. Окей, number 4. I wish the rain is annoying, I want to go out. Again, I wish it would stop raining. Насправді це вже таке як стале речення, да? I wish it would stop raining. Якщо, до речі, ви там вчите в якоїсь книжці тему I wish if only, зазвичай є це приклад про rain. Okay, number 5. I'm starving. I wish I gap breakfast this morning. So, again, we're talking about past, yes? We're talking about the morning. Да? Тобто ми говоримо про ранок, який вже пройшов. Тобто це вже минулий. So we regret about some past, yes? And that is surely D. I wish I had eaten breakfast this morning. Okay, let's go next. Number 6. I wish my train gap now. I'm going to be late for work again. I wish my train gap now. I'm going too late for work. Okay, let's think. Are we talking about present, future, or past? Surely not about past, yes? Because we have now. So the train is not here. Тобто нам би хотілося, щоб він зараз прийшов, да, прибув. Тобто це такий як future wish. Would come. Surely would come now. I'm going to be late for work again. And it's a bit annoying. Number 7. This book is too boring. I wish I gap reading it. Didn't start, wouldn't start, hadn't started, wouldn't have started. That is number 7. Number 7. So you have already started reading it because you state that it is boring. Тобто ви почали її вже читати, бо ви зараз кажете, що вона така нудна, правильно? That's why I wish I... Did you start reading it in the past? Yes, you started reading it in the past. Да? Тобто ви почали читати її в минулому? Так, в минулому почали. That's why that is hadn't started. Great. Number 8. I missed my flight yesterday, if only I a bit earlier. Again, we are talking about past. We regret about something that happened in the past. So if we talk about past, we need past perfect. Had got up. Had got up. Може бути gotten. Да, знаємо, що третя форма може ще бути gotten. Okay, number 9. I wish I got to go to work today. Today. У нас є today, time marker, тобто це present. Да? Якщо ми жалкуємо щось про present, або хочемо змінити щось в present, what tense do we need to use? Number 9. Surely D. Didn't have. I wish I didn't have to go to work today. Да? Звучить, можливо, дивно, але правильно. Okay, number 10. If only he gap here, he'd know what to do. A bit tricky. If only he gap here, he'd know what to do. That might be was or it might be were. Тобто може бути worse, може бути were. Дивлячись того, що у вас є з вибору, так? Тобто може бути і were. Great, guys. But actually, also I would like to remind you about this one verb that we actually studied with you. That is regret. Пам'ятаєте, що є слово regret, якщо вам потрібно в листі написати, що ви про щось жалкуєте, да? Можливо, вам воно знадобиться. So please remember that the verb to regret might be used with gerund and with infinitive. Да? Чому я їх розділила? Тому що різне значення. Да? Тобто ви можете, звичайно, використати конструкцію, це буде великий плюс, якщо ви десь її напишете в листі, або можете просто використати слово, дієслово regret, да? Але будьте уважніші, з якою конструкцією. Because if you use it with gerund, you express dissatisfaction or sadness about something that happened or didn't happen in the past. Тобто ось це те, що ми говорили, да? Щось трапилось в минулому, ви зараз жалкуєте, що це трапилось. For example, Rosie regrets lying to the police. But if you use it with the infinitive, yes, you express sadness or apology about having to reveal something. For example, dear Mr. Dastro, we regret to inform you your application for a loan has been denied. То будьте обережними з цим. Якщо ви хочете сказати, що ви жалкуєте про щось, та, в минулому, тоді з герундієм. Якщо зустрічається full infinitive, то це має зовсім інше значення. Да? So be careful with the verb regret. Але, до речі, так само можете його використовувати з герундієм. Це так само буде про якісь минулі regrets. Да? Okay. Any questions here with regret? Ми з вами це повторювали, but anyway, just remember that. I guess no. So let's go to more structures. Let's look at these two pictures and let's try to choose the correct answer here. So would you prefer or would you rather to watch an action film or a horror film tonight? And two, I'd rather watch a horror film tonight. What do you think about number one and number two? What should we choose here? Prefer or rather, and in the second one, prefer or rather, and why? І якщо ви напишете чому, that would be great. So if you have the correct answer, then tell me why. Що вам допомогло? It sounds better, I agree. So would you prefer to watch an action film? I'd rather watch a horror film. So what's the difference between these two sentences? Є маленька різниця, яка вам допоможе вибрати правильне слово, да? It's all about infinitives. Все про інфінітив знову ж той же. Ага, я, до речі, не помічала, да, про answer a question. Okay, look at the infinitive. What follows this structure? Yes, I see the correct answer. After prefer, we put full infinitive, to watch, with to. After rather, we put a bare infinitive, watch, without to, да? Тобто це перше, що вам допоможе відкинути неправильну відповідь. Дивіться на інфінітив. Який він? Bare або full. Okay, so we can use would rather or rather, that usually we use contractions with bare infinitive if we want to express a preference about the present or future. For example, I'd rather stay at home tonight. Тобто так само можете про preferences говорити, про ваші вподобання в теперішньому або в майбутньому, да? Also, you can use to talk about preferences when you have the two alternatives, да? Коли у вас є два, да, ніби на вибір. I'd rather speak to my lawyer than speak to the police. Be careful that after then we also have bare infinitive. Що вам потрібно запам'ятати, що після then да, знову йде bare infinitive. Тобто, коли ви ніби даєте не порівняння, а да, дві альтернативи. Or, for example, John would rather see a film than go to the opera on Saturday night. Also, there is one interesting structure when we use would rather plus have plus past participle in order to like express regret or a preference about something in the past. Да? Тобто вона зустрічається доволі частенько, найбільше це в розмові. Да? Tina would rather have traveled by plane. In fact, she didn't. But she'd rather have traveled by plane. So if we talk about past, we need to use have plus past participle. I think that is more or less common, yes, but you may also like face would rather with past simple when you have a different subject. Тобто, коли задіяна інша людина, да? Тобто, ви хочете щось змінити для когось іншого. Наприклад, I'd rather you didn't get involved. Yes, or Kim would rather Henry didn't watch the football at the weekend. So we put past simple if we talk about present or future. But if you want to talk about past, yes, like to express a preference in the past with a different subject, then you used to use past perfect. For example, Lucy would rather Paul hadn't confessed to the crime. In fact, he did, yes, so he confessed, but Lucy would rather Paul hadn't confessed. Але б вона б хотіла, да? Тобто вона б бажала, she preferred that he didn't, yes, that he hadn't confessed. Actually, maybe it sounds strange, but anyway, that is a structure that is used in English when you have a different subject. At the same time, you have the verb to prefer. Насправді, would rather, воно більш якби вживане, да, воно більш colloquial, тобто в розмові, але є слово prefer, яке ми так само не забуваємо. Да? So you remember that the verb to prefer plus infinitive or gerund we use to express preferences in general. Тобто це загальні ваші якісь вподобання. We prefer to eat out on Saturdays. I prefer Chinese food. Тобто після цього prefer може бути інфінітив, може бути герундій, може бути просто іменник без ніякого зміни зміни в значенні. Да? Тобто це найпростіше слово, яке можна використати. Also, when you have two alternatives, for example, you want to express a general preference between these two alternatives, you use to. Да? We prefer walking to taking the bus. Тобто, бачите, ми кажемо не than, це така помилка, да? Використовуємо preposition to. We prefer walking to taking the bus. Тобто мені подобається більше там гуляти пішки, ніж їхати автобусом. So that ніж, да, is expressed with to, preposition to. Also, we use would prefer when we talk about preference on a specific occasion. А коли у вас є окрема якась ситуація, і в цій ситуації ви хочете щось зробити, тобто це не ваше таке загальне вподобання, от саме в цій ситуації, then you need to use would prefer plus full infinitive. For example, I'd prefer to make a statement at the police station. Це не ваше загальне вподобання, вам не подобається, можливо, це робити, але в цей момент вам би було б краще, якби ви зробили це, тобто в цей час. But if you have two alternatives, then you need to use rather than. For example, Matthew would prefer to give you a key rather than leave the garage door open. І тут після rather than, зверніть увагу, в нас іде вже bare infinitive. Тобто після prefer в нас завжди буде full infinitive, to give, але після rather than буде leave. Насправді, дивіться, є слово prefer, просто без would prefer, да? Це коли ви говорите, що загалом в житті вам подобається. I prefer Chinese food. I prefer, I don't know, walking to cycling or whatever. Це просто ви розказуєте про своє життя. Але якщо у вас є якийсь конкретний випадок в цій ситуації, ви б хотіли щось зробити ось це, да, наприклад, в цій конкретній ситуації. Like we have an example, Matthew would prefer to give you a key rather than leave the garage door open. So we are not talking about preferences in general. Ми не говоримо про його вподобання. Ми говоримо про цю дану ситуацію, да? Тобто, що б він вибрав. Actually, in your exam, that is level B2, by the way. Ця граматика відноситься до рівня Upper Intermediate B2, да? І вона є в програмі ЗНО, але вона вважається вже як на B2. Тобто, ви можете це використати в листі, і це буде вам великий плюс. Але найчастіше вона трапляється в завданнях, які для B2. Тобто це остання частина рідінгу і це остання частина use of English, там, де граматика, да? Завдання 9. Це ось ці випадки, де вам може трапитись ця граматика. But if you use it in your letter, it will be like a big plus to you, a big advantage for your letter. So let's try to practice and you will see the difference better. Let's go to number 1. I'd prefer a movie, gap, a concert. So we have a specific occasion, a specific preference. I'd prefer a movie, gap, a concert. That is a specific, that is, you're not comparing in general, but you have to choose at this moment. I'd prefer a movie. I say that without the context, it might be difficult. Без контексту це, мабуть, важко. Rather than a concert. So you would rather now go to a movie than to a concert. Yes, maybe in your life you prefer movies to concerts. Yes? Тобто, якби в нас було I prefer, то, скоріш за все, було б to. But if we have I'd prefer, then that is a rather than a concert. Okay, let's go to number 2. He'd prefer to keep his job, gap, fired. He'd prefer to keep his job, gap, fired. Fired – це звільнений. To being, rather than being, before to be, rather than be. That's right, D. Да, тут D, тому що пам'ятаємо, після rather than у нас буде bare infinitive, без часточки to. Okay, let's go number 3. I'd prefer just a salad. Після prefer у нас завжди йде що? Оце прям правило не завжди. To have, full infinitive. Okay, number 4. I'd prefer to walk rather than gap by car. А після rather than у нас який інфінітив іде? Після rather than. Bare or full infinitive? bare infinitive, go, rather than go by car. Rather than plus bare infinitive. Number 5. I gap become a doctor. І нам тільки один варіант тут підходить, навіть граматично правильно. У нас є become, be infinitive без часточки to, і це буде I'd rather. Да? I'd rather become a doctor. Let's go next. B, number 6, sorry. I gap to go on a cruise. To go. To go, full infinitive. I gap to go on a cruise. Would rather, would prefer to, prefer. Це означає would prefer. У нас є be, у нас є infinitive, да? To go. Це тільки буде prefer. I'd prefer. Okay, number 7. I prefer running. General preference, yes? You're comparing two things. I prefer running to swimming. That's right. Okay. Number 8. She'd prefer to work night shift. Це нічні зміни. Gap work at weekends. She'd prefer to work. І далі у нас є gap, да? І далі після gap у нас є work. Bare infinitive. Рази це, воно не використовується, тобто це може бути рази використаний як adverb, да, на початку речення, а would рази це вже граматична структура. She'd prefer to work night shifts rather than. Rather than work at weekends. Because we have work and that is bare infinitive. Okay, guys, and the last structure that is actually you might face and you might use in your letters, that is it's time. It's time for somebody to do something, and it's time, or it's high time, it's about time, somebody did something. So what's the difference? Yes, we use it's time plus full infinitive to emphasize that the time has come for something to be done. For example, it's time for me to leave for work. Тобто зараз саме час мені йти на роботу. And we use it's time plus subject plus past tense to emphasize that something should be done soon because it's already past the time when it should be done. Тобто тут, можливо, так написано, це вже коли ніби от вам потрібно, це вже запізно, це вже мало бути зроблене, да? For example, it's time you told us what is going on. It's about time you started telling the truth. Але знову ж таки, вам потрібно запам'ятати тут граматичну структуру, да? Якщо в нас є it's high time, після нього завжди буде subject і минулий час, да? Або it's about time, завжди буде subject, тобто хтось, і потім past tense. А якщо ви просто хочете сказати, що от зараз саме час мені йти там в школу, да, тобто ви не спізнюєтесь, it's time to go to school, it's time for me to go to school. That is the difference. Okay, any questions here? I guess that is easy, but anyway, we had to revise that. No? It's high time you did something. Окей, then let's go to practice. Давайте більше практикуватися. Бачу, з практикою будуть питання виникати тоді. Let's go to number 1. What if you gap a superpower of your choice? What would it be? What if you... Повторимо з вами ще conditional. What if you gap a superpower of your choice? What would it be? What type of conditional is that? What if you gap a superpower of your choice? Which would it be? Да, звичайно, вживати it's time можна. Дивіться, it's time, давайте я повернусь назад. It's time, да, можна, бачите, воно в дужечках взяти, high і about. Тобто ви можете просто опустити, ви можете просто сказати it's time we did something. Да? Тобто це вже якби зараз це має бути зроблено, да? Тобто вже запізно це як от прямо зараз має бути зроблено, да? Ну, тобто воно в дужечках, можете опускати high about, да? А it's time to do something, да? Тут ну, якби нічого не можна додати, от саме зараз час щось зробити, да? Ми зараз маємо це зробити. Тобто от зараз підійшов саме той час. А якщо ви кажете it's time we did something, це вже значить запізно. Тобто ви вже спізнюєтесь, це вже мало бути зроблено. От найкраще це вже мало бути зроблено, да? It's high time we did something. Ми вже мали це зробити. Окей. Let's go next. So, what if you get a superpower of your choice, what would it be? What type of conditional is that? Second, yes. Could have, yes. What if you could have a superpower of your choice, what would it be? Окей. Тобто, бачимо, в нас тут є would в другій частині, да? What would it be? Можемо зразу сказати, що це second conditional. Окей, let's go to number 2. I wish they gave a bit more respect in the last meeting. Last meeting. So we regret about some past events, yes? I wish they had shown, да? A bit more respect in the last meeting. Number 3, I like my job, but I hate my boss. If only I a better boss. If only I had a better boss. Тобто, знову, коли говорите про теперішнє або про майбутнє, використовуємо минуле. Коли говоримо про минуле, використовуємо past perfect. Тобто, все ніби просто, да? Okay, let's go to number 4. You don't like the essay topic we chose, do you? Would you rather we get a different topic? Would you rather we a different topic? Пам'ятаєте, a different subject, коли ми використовуємо іншу якби особу, a different subject. Would you, да, в нас є you, а потім йде ще інший subject, we. Yes, it sounds like that, but anyway, that's something that is used. Okay, again, I would repeat again, that is level like upper intermediate, that is B2, yes, level. But anyway, if you use these structures, it's a big plus to you. Would you rather we a different topic? So we have chosen already and we don't like it now. So we did something in the past. So we regret about the past. So that would be, would you rather we? So we regret about the past. Да, бачимо значення, що нам не подобається тема, яку ми вибрали. Ми вже її вибрали в минулому. Тобто ми хочемо щось змінити в минулому. That is C. Had chosen. We had chosen a different topic. Number 5. If there are any cuts, cracks or bulges in your tire, it's time you gap them. Тобто, якщо якісь порізи, тріщини, випуклості у вас на шинах, да, it's time you gap them. Оце it's time, тобто вже є ось це все. Ага, BBB, you replace them. That's right. Правильно. Оце от найкращий випадок, коли вже було давно потрібно їх змінити, да? You replace them. Okay, let's go next. If only they gap how important they are to each other, they wouldn't be arguing all the time. If only they, how important they are to each other. Okay, are we talking about present? Yes, we're talking about present. They are to each other. If only they knew. Yes, if only they knew. Okay, number 7. I'd rather we gap the car. I'm tired and I don't feel like walking. I'd rather we the car. I'm tired and I don't feel like walking. Okay, are we talking about present? I'm tired. I don't feel like walking. Yes, we're talking about present. Бачите, ми говоримо про зараз. Я зараз втомилась. I'm tired. I don't feel like walking. Я не хочу зараз йти. So, if we talk about present, that is A. We took. That's right. Okay, sorry. Number 8. Давайте 8 дам вам шанс відповісти. Sorry. Number 8. Do you want to take the bus or would you rather gap the bus? Choose two correct options. Ага, would you rather take the bus? Тут помилка, да? Ну, уявимо, do you want to take the train or would you rather Gap the bus. Тут я чомусь двічі bus написала. Але уявіть, що там другий не bus, а train буде. Окей, і тут дві опції. Між ними нема різниці. Дві. Ага, я бачу BD. B. Would you rather? Да, B правильно. Take. А якщо ми ставимо different subject, то що в нас? І говоримо про теперішнє, то нам потрібно вставити туди минуле. We took. Would you rather take the bus or would you rather we took the bus? Okay, that's right. Okay, let's go to number 9. I didn't take my boots, but I wish I did, had, would, or would have. But I wish I... I didn't take my boots. That's about past. We regret about some past. Something that didn't happen in the past. Not A. Не A. Чекаю інших відповідей. Not A. B. B. That's right. Why B? Because we need to use what? Past perfect. Нам потрібен тут past perfect, because we regret about past. Якщо б ми повністю це речення сказали, воно б звучало так. I didn't take my boots, but I wish I had taken them. Да? Але може бути коротка, да? Тобто, but I wish I had. Okay, let's go next to number 10. She seems so lost. Isn't it time you a chat with him? Якщо у нас є subject, і у нас є time, може там бути інфінітив? Не може бути інфінітив. Може бути тільки що? Isn't it time? Isn't it high time? Isn't it about time you? C, D. У нас є you, у нас є subject. Якщо у нас є subject, то інфінітив вже там не буде, да? It's time for you, тоді буде to do something. But it's time you had a chat with him. So it's time for you to do something. It's time you did something. Да? That's right. That is D. Okay, guys. And today, any questions here, by the way? So I'd really suggest you should use these structures in your letter. That is B2 level. Yes, I will repeat again. If you open the Zenio program, you will find these topics in B2. Пам'ятаєте, я вам коли показувала програму, там є окрема граматика для рівня B2. І там ось ці конструкції. Тобто вони в програмі є. Але якщо ви використаєте I'd prefer, I'd rather in your letter, that will be a big plus to you. Тобто, можливо, вони вам і не попадуться. Вони можуть попастися тільки в останній частині читання, те, що розраховане на B2, або в останній частині Use of English, там завдання 9, яке розраховане на перевірку граматики. Тобто, це два випадки, коли вам може попастися ця граматика. But anyway, if you use it in your letter, like I wish, ну це насправді така гарна конструкція, or I'd rather, I'd prefer, that would be really great. Oxford comma, I like using Oxford comma. Да, я люблю використовувати Oxford comma, воно ставить всі крапки на «і». Якщо ви не ставите ось цю останню кому перед and, да, тоді не зрозуміло, що ви з чим поєднуєте. Якщо ви ставите цю Oxford comma, ніколи не буде зайвою, я так скажу. Тобто її можуть опускати, це не є помилкою. Якщо ви її ставите, це так само правильно. Це тільки up to you. I prefer to use it. Okay. Let's go to the listening. Again, I will, as usual, I will show you that there are 3 tasks with 16 questions. You will have 30 minutes for this part of your exam. The first task will be the easiest. Що означає ця кома? Oxford кома – це коли ви перераховуєте, наприклад, якісь речі, да? Тобто робите якийсь список. Ми кажемо, наприклад, I have a cat, a dog and a parrot. Да? Тобто перед and parrot, перед цим and інколи ставлять кому, і це означає Oxford кома. Інколи її упускають, тобто вона там не обов'язково має бути. Okay, task number 1, it will be a multiple choice task, and it will be the easiest task. It will look like this. You will have questions, you will have 3 options, and your task will be to choose one option. Task number 2, we're going to do it now. Yes, that is a true or false task, where you will listen to like longer text, yes, and your task will be to decide whether the statements they provide you, yes, are true or false. So there are only 5 sentences, by the way, only 5. And the last task, that is again a multiple choice task, but it's more like complex, it's more difficult than task number 1. And there your task will be again to answer the questions, but for the longer text, of course, and you will have longer answers. Тобто це найскладніше завдання через те, що потрібно буде слухати великий текст, і варіанти відповіді будуть, вони будуть довшими, звичайно, це не буде як завдання 1. That is like more difficult than task number 1. So today we're going to do a true or false task, yes? As usual, yes, you will be given 20 seconds before listening, and your task will be to read the questions and predict the content of the recording, and of course find the keywords. Пам'ятаєте ці ключові слова? І подумати, якщо у вас є час, да, подумати, як би ви їх перефразували, які синоніми, да? Тобто, що вам потрібно слухати. Ми зараз це з вами будемо робити. Then you listen to the information in the recording and then choose the correct option. Дивіться, з true or false інколи буває дуже важко, бо ви коли слухаєте, да, а речення, якщо у вас написано невірне, то це інколи дуже важко співставити. Якщо ви в чомусь сумніваєтесь, да, і послухаєте перший раз, залиште, дослухайте до кінця і потім відмітьте. Да, перед тим, як слухати вдруге, тобто поставте свої відповіді, а потім вже слухайте вдруге. Тобто інколи буває таке, да, будьте готові, що буде важко слухати одну інформацію, а вона в нас написана, наприклад, як false. Може бути складність. Якщо сумніваєтесь, пропустіть, і вже коли дослухаєте перший раз, тоді поставте, проаналізуйте і поставте правильну відповідь. Але все одно до другого разу, бо коли ви слухаєте в другий раз, you need to check yourself. Тобто це вже вам потрібно себе перевіряти. As usual, pay attention to vocabulary and grammar paraphrases, and, of course, it's a good advice to answer all the questions. Да? Навіть інколи можна вгадати. Виберіть варіант, який вам здається найправильнішим. Тим паче в true or false у вас буде тільки 2 варіанти. True або false. Okay, so today we will be doing this task about the school, about the record, about the world record. And let's look at the sentences, yes, as they advise us. And let's try to choose the keywords. Давайте ж спробуємо потренуватися, знайти ці keywords. От дивимось на перше речення. London schools gave the world's largest history lesson. Спробуйте знайти найважливіші слова в цьому реченні. От подумайте, якби ви були автором, де б ви тут зробили якусь, можливо, tricky answer. London schools gave the world's largest history lesson. What are the keywords in these sentences? Прогляньте всі питання. History, history, yes, I agree. А прогляньте от всі питання до кінця. І тоді history lesson взагалі просто одразу вилітає, тому що largest history lesson, бо в останньому 5-му реченні the record for the largest reading lesson. Бачите? Тобто в останньому вони кажуть for reading lesson, а в першому про history lesson. Нам потрібно, звичайно, з'ясувати, який це був урок. Да? Okay, number 2. The record lesson lasted for 1 hour. Звичайно, якщо якісь є там цифри, роки, вік чийсь, да, то одразу, що це буде? Це буде ключовим словом. Да? Нам потрібно з'ясувати, чи це був 1 hour lesson. Да, 1 hour. Okay, number 3. Michael feels very proud of his connection with the record. Ага, 1 hour. Да, нам потрібно з'ясувати, чи це реально тривало годину. До речі, ми будемо слухати про найбільший чи про найдовший урок. Feels proud. Ага, в третьому. Very proud. Чому? Feels proud of what? Да? Of record. So we need to find out what Michael feels and why. Що він почувається, як він почуває себе, не почувається, як він відчуває, да? Які в нього емоції по відношенню до цього рекорду. До речі, да, питання було, are we going to listen about the longest or the largest history lesson? The largest, да? Тобто нам не потрібно слухати про longest, да? Тобто нам потрібно послухати про largest. Okay, number 4. Some pupils of a primary school got a chance to go to the theater for free. Да, the largest. Звичайно, largest. Okay, some pupils of a primary school got a chance to go to the theater for free. Я бачила theater, да? Але хто саме, да? Нас говоримо школу, одразу являємо школу, це може бути початкова, середня, старша школа, primary, secondary, high school, можливо, буде про всі ці три категорії, тому, звичайно, primary school я б поставила як ключове слово тут. A primary school and theater for free. Okay, and the last one, the record for the largest reading lesson was encouraged by the local press. І останнє. Local press, I agree. So, encouraged by the local press. Тобто ми вже до 5-го питання, звичайно, знаємо, чи то був history lesson, чи то був reading lesson. Да? Ось тут в 5-му нам головніше почути, ким було це організовано, або якби, хто мав вплив, хто був співорганізатором, або будь-що. Okay, so let's go to the listening, and then we will find the right answer. So let's listen.
Track 11.
If
Task
you cannot hear, let me know.
Look at 5 statements for this task. You will hear about the world's largest reading lesson, which happened in London. Decide if each statement is true or false. For statements 1 to 5, choose T if the statement is true according to the text, and F if it is false. Now you will have 20 seconds to look at the questions for task 2.
So you're given this 20 seconds.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
Earlier this week, children in schools across London read their way into history books after taking part in the world's largest reading lesson. Teachers in primary and secondary schools across the capital started their English lessons at precisely 10 a.m. on Monday, as 2,735 participants sat down for exactly the same lesson. 27 schools took part in the event, easily beating the target of 10 that were needed to break the record. The half-hour class was based around the book Born to Run by children's author Michael Morpurgo. Mr. Morpurgo, whose book War Horse was recently turned into a Hollywood movie, gave his support to the record attempt. He said, "I am honoured that my book was chosen for this event. It is really wonderful. I love the fact that the children tried for a world record. I'm a big fan of things that get people reading and make it fun and exciting." Also showing support for the event was Four Weddings and a Funeral actor Simon Callow, who visited Globe Primary School in Tower Hamlets during the attempt. He donated 40 tickets to pupils for his current play, Being Shakespeare. Nicola Byrne, assistant head teacher at St Mary's School in Battersea, which also took part in the event, said, "Our children can't quite believe they will make it into the Guinness Book of World Records." The record-breaking event formed part of London and Partners' World Record London attempt to set over 20 Guinness World Records in the capital. It was also supported by local newspaper, The Evening Standard, which is running a campaign to raise literacy levels across the UK's capital.
Okay, so give me your answers to the chat. So some were very obvious, I guess, some answers, but some others were confusing, I guess. So let me give you 1 minute. I will wait and then I will show the correct answers. Let me give you a chance. True, false, true, true, false, false, false. Okay. False, false, true, true. I see some people have completely correct answers. That's great. Yes, you will listen twice, but I want you to listen for the second time when I show you some sentences. Я вам дам змогу послухати вдруге, але я перед тим хочу вам показати, що саме вслухатись потрібно. Окей. False, true, 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 false. Ага. Загалом. So let me show you, yes, and then we will listen second time. So London School gave the world's largest history lesson. Was it a history lesson? No, it was not. It was a reading lesson, да? Тобто в реченні 5 все-таки йдеться про reading lessons, урок читання, і це був урок читання. So children in schools read their way into the history books. І є ось це слово, яке вас може запутатись. Вони читали історичні книги, да? Але вони читали. That's where the world's largest reading lesson. Okay, what about the duration? Have you heard anything about duration? Не було сказано, що урок буде тривати стільки-то. Звичайно, це не було сказано. Це було сказано як в описі. Це було використано як adjective, прикметник. Але вони сказали, the half-hour class was based around the book. Okay, number 3, Michael feels proud. That is true because he said, I am honored. Honored, that is a synonym. That is a paraphrase to feel very proud. Yeah. Great. Number 4, some pupils of a primary school got a chance to go to the theater for free. And that was true. There was a director, yes, I guess, some famous person who visited this school and who donated 40 tickets to pupils for his current way. Да? Тобто не було сказано, що він там gave or presented, але було сказано donated. Да? Donated – це якби на благодійність, да? Але може бути і останнє, бачу, 5, хтось пише, that is true, правильно. It was supported by local newspaper. Okay, so now you will listen for the second time, so please try to listen to these sentences. Думаю, можеш витратити 2 хвилинки, слухаємо вдруге і звертайте увагу на ці речення, де є відповіді. So listen.
Now listen again.
Earlier this week, children in schools across London read their way into history books after taking part in the world's largest reading lesson. Teachers in primary and secondary schools across the capital started their English lessons at precisely 10 a.m. on Monday, as 2,735 participants sat down for exactly the same lesson. 27 schools took part in the event, easily beating the target of 10 that were needed to break the record. The half-hour class was based around the book Born to Run by children's author Michael Morpurgo. Mr. Morpurgo, whose book Warhorse was recently turned into a Hollywood movie, gave his support to the record attempt. He said, I am honoured that my book was chosen for this event. It is really wonderful. I love the fact that the children tried for a world record. I'm a big fan of things that get people reading and make it fun and exciting. Also showing support for the event was For Weddings and a Funeral actor Simon Callow, who visited Globe Primary School in Tower Hamlets during the attempt. He donated 40 tickets to pupils for his current play, Being Shakespeare. Nicola Byrne, assistant head teacher at St Mary's School in Battersea, which also took part in the event, said, "Our children can't quite believe they will make it into the Guinness Book of World Records." The record-breaking event formed part of London and Partners' World Record London attempt to set over 20 Guinness World Records in the capital. It was also supported by local newspaper, The Evening Standard, which is running a campaign to raise literacy levels across the UK's capital.
Okay,
Track
so
11. Task
Okay, I hope you heard the correct answers. І думаю, зараз ви послухали, да, і зрозуміли дещо правильно, дещо неправильно. Це так, як потрібно, да, як може вам допомогти готуватись. Спочатку слухаємо без скрипту, без тексту, да, або дивимось фільм без субтитрів, намагаємось зрозуміти ідею. Коли дивимось вдруге, послухаємо вдруге, да, при підготовці бажано відкрити, да, подивитись, перевірити себе. Тобто це буде найефективніший метод підготовки. Okay, that is all for today. I see one question in the chat. In that month, Max sold a lot of goods. So actually, in academic writing, we put a comma there. Якщо ми говоримо про академічне письмо, звичайно, там має бути кома, бо це вважається вступною фразою, a beginning phrase. In that last month, like any phrases, да? Це може бути будь-яка вступна фраза, це може бути в Лондоні вчора, я не знаю, в той самий час вчора, тобто це будь-яка вступна фраза, да, ставимо кому. Але якщо ми говоримо про informal style, який вам, скоріш за все, буде потрібно, то кому можна там упустити. That's mainly because you кому, да, там потрібно, уявіть собі, що ви читаєте вслух, і чи будете ви робити там паузу. Да? Якщо ви будете робити там паузу, звичайно, кома – це та сама пауза. Да? In that month, кома, Max sold a lot of goods. Тобто в академічному райтингу там має бути кома. Але informal, it might be skipped. Якщо ми говоримо про неофіційний, то може бути пропущено. Окей. Thank you a lot and see you next Thursday. Good luck with your preparation. Успіху у підготовці вам. Goodbye.